that people are focused on one story and one story only at this moment: Biden's age, his memory, his mental competence. And those people include me, because I think Biden's age and mental health is, sorry, an undeniable political problem for him, and he should probably stand aside and let someone else run as the Democratic nominee. Having said that, any conversation about the mental health of the president has to include the president's Republican opponent, the uniquely incoherent and many would say deranged Donald Trump. You think Biden is losing it? Biden is forgetting things? Have you seen the ridiculous things Trump has been saying? He didn't just wrongly say at a rally the other day that his son Don Jr. is married, even though Don Jr. isn't married. But more importantly, more consequentially, Trump shared this deluded claim on Truth Social the other week, claiming that he knows nothing about the controversial Project 2025 and that he has nothing to do with the people behind it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Project 2025 is a dangerous far-right policy agenda that calls for a major expansion of presidential powers and a total overhaul of our checks and balances. The 920-page policy book at the heart of it details plans for the president to enact mass deportation, eliminate the Department of Education, further restrict abortion rights, replace federal workers with MAGA loyalists en masse, and a whole host of other pretty fascistic goals that completely coincidentally line up pretty closely with the policy agenda that Trump himself has been touting. Project 2025 was created by the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank that actually partnered with Trump while he was in the White House. But now Trump suddenly can't seem to remember that close alliance. New phone, who dis? Luckily, though, no matter how jumbled his memory might get, the internet never forgets. Just take a look here at Trump in 2017 promoting his tax plan at, wait for it, the Heritage Foundation.
And the dedicated scholars and staff at the Heritage Foundation, thank you very much. Thank you. Great job.
Does that ring a bell, Donald? No? Well, don't worry. I know your memory isn't what it used to be. So let me be a little bit more specific today and remind you who those Project 2025 people are. Let's start off with Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation. Yes, the one you gushed over 2 years ago during your keynote address at the Heritage Foundation, his organization.
I want to thank Kevin. He's going to be so incredible. I know that for a fact.
Ah, how kind. You'll be proud to know that Incredible Kevin actually wrote the foreword for Project 2025. Now, to be fair, there are a lot of conservative organizations and presidents, you can't remember them all, but surely you remember all the Project 2025 people who have literally worked for you, right? 140 people in total, according to CNN. People like Carolyn Levitt, your campaign press secretary, the one who caused quite the stir on CNN before the debate on their network, the one you agreed to. She herself is in a promotional video for Project 2025, your campaign press secretary. Then there's your loyal former White House senior advisor, Stephen Miller, who fiercely dedicated himself to the shameless promotion of all of your lies.
And I'm prepared to go on any show, anywhere, anytime, and repeat it and say the President of the United States is correct 100%.
Yes, that's Stephen. Well, guess what? He's also in the same Project 2025 commercial that Caroline is in. What a small world. Now, of course, you two are just so in tune with each other that Stephen's actually been mimicking you by saying he has no involvement with Project 2025 either. But unfortunately, you two really do seem to learn from each other when it comes to bad lying. Because not only is Miller's organization, America First Legal, a part of the Project 2025 advisory board, but Stephen also has the Project 2025 Mandate for Leadership book right next to him in that commercial. Oh, and on the topic of bad liars, you remember Ben Carson, right? Your Housing and Urban Development Secretary? Because Chapter 15 of Project 2025 is authored by Carson himself. There's also Russ Vought, who wrote Chapter 2 of Project 2025. Not only is he currently in charge of the Republican Party's Platform Committee, aka writing your current 2024 GOP platform, but he was also your director of the Office of Management and Budget back in your White House days.
I would like to now invite Acting Director of OMB, Russ Vought, to say a few words about the exciting news. And I want to thank Russ for doing an incredible job.
And Russ could be your next White House Chief of Staff too, apparently. But you don't know him? Now, who else, Donald? Who else? Well, you have Peter Navarro, your old deputy assistant in the White House, who went to prison for refusing to testify in front of the January 6th committee, but still managed to write Chapter 26 of Project 2025. Paul Dans, who was Chief of Staff at your Office of Personnel Management. He's the director for Project 2025, the whole damn thing. Gene Hamilton, a top aide in your Department of Justice, wrote Chapter 17. Mehdi Gunasakara, your old Chief of Staff at the EPA, wrote Chapter 13. John McEntee, one of your closest aides in the White House, he was your body man, is a senior advisor to Project 2025. I could keep going. The list goes on and on. But I'm a little worried I might put you to sleep again, Donald. Look, jokes and snark aside, how does someone just suddenly forget many of their own current and former employees and advisors? Is it possible that Trump may need to take a cognitive test again?
Like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Look, as much as Trump talking about his cognitive tests amuses me, all this Project 2025 denial is actually not an example of Trump's dangerous delusions and derangement, but rather his dangerous and desperate dishonesty. Because when it comes to Project 2025, which proposes authoritarian and reactionary and ridiculous things that are hugely unpopular with most ordinary Americans, it seems clear to me that Trump's not forgetting about his closeness to it. He's just plain lying.